The pandemic, as well as the death of George Floyd, have both revealed undeniable inequalities across the world. In South Africa, Graça Machel has seen some of the worst sides of injustice, having lived through the era of apartheid, as did her late husband, Nelson Mandela. A trailblazing humanitarian in her own right, Graça Machel has signed an open letter calling the pandemic an opportunity to dismantle barriers to equality. She told the BBC's Michelle Hussein why.
We have been aware that we are societies which are very unequal. We have been aware of how these inequalities are affecting mostly women, youth, and children. But we got like used to it as our normal situation. The pandemic has brought to the surface in a very dramatic and glaring way these inequalities. We are in a situation where we cannot ignore them. We cannot even close our eyes to it. So that's why we believe, not only myself, but we, the women who have signed this open letter, we believe it has to be an opportunity to address those structural issues which we have been aware of, but we didn't have the boldness and the focus of addressing them in short, medium, and long term. And that this is the opportunity which COVID is offering us.
In the midst of these extraordinary and extreme few weeks, this unprecedented period, we've also had the death of George Floyd in the United States and the anti-racism protests that have happened in so many different parts of the world. Do you fear that the emphasis on symbols is a distraction, or do you think it is part of having an anti-racist stance?
I think it comes as people who are angry. And I think we should move on so that we become much more serene and much more rational. It is not the issue of bringing down a statue, which is going to resolve, the ills of the past. What is important is to look at the history of what is it which brought us to the situation where we are. And of course, you have to see who were the architects of this past. But I believe even it might be much more positive to keep them, because you're going to tell generations to come, this is how it is started, and this is how it should never continue to be the way it is. So I'm not really concerned with the bringing down and breaking the statues. Come now, a child who is 5 years now, if you don't have the Cecil Rhodes there, how are you going to explain that apartheid had been once institutionalized in South Africa, or even the role of those many others who have taken us to a so divided society, and in fact, to the resentment and the anger in which we are.